The sun is shining down here in Boise, Idaho, as you are now listening to Blue Collar Sports. We appreciate you guys tuning in as we are down here in the Pulse Radio studio at Boise State University. It is 2 o'clock right now, which means, of course, you're listening to Blue Collar Sports. We are every Tuesday, Thursday from 2 to 4. This is our 106th show. I do want to mention before we get going, today's show will be cut a little short. We are going to go 2 to 3 with a little work conflict, but we're still going to give you guys a great hour. Going to wrap up the weekend and exciting sports time of the year. The end of March is one of my favorite times of the year, and we're getting there. So it's going to be fun. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm ready to get after it.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show today. It's been a couple great weeks. It's March now, and the sun's out. I love seeing that. It's a lot sunnier, warmer, so it's great to be outside today. So hopefully you can. Like you said, you mentioned it's only going to be an hour show today. So with that hour after us, hopefully you're outside enjoying the sun and nice weather today. So it's going to be a great show, and I can't wait to get to it.
That's right. It's golfing weather right now.
Is that where you're really going?
Of course I'd want to be here. That is not where I have to go. I promise I'm not bailing to golf. But it's going to be a great show. I'm your co-host, Seth Newell, right here with co-host Trevor Brenlin. Like I said, it's our 106th show, and we are going to kick things off with the NBA because it is an exciting time in the NBA world as we are getting down to the wire of the regular season. About 15 games left remaining. And obviously the big news last night was Lakers-Nuggets, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. And, of course, we'll talk about LeBron. But the Lakers lose again. They are now 6.5 games outside of the playoffs, less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. We'll talk about LeBron because quite a milestone last night, but we'll talk about that.
Yep.
But you said the panic meter on Tuesday's show is 9.5. They lost again now. Clippers and Spurs won. Is it over? Is it at a 10? A 10's like over.
I think I'm officially have to put the panic meter at a 10 right now.
It's all over.
When I watched the game yesterday, and there was glimpses of energy, but then there were glimpses of nothing. And there's no fight right now, and they're not going to be able to get to the 8th spot in the playoffs. There's no chance. The Kings have a much better chance at that, who are at 9 right now. And so I think officially the Lakers are over, and we're not going to see much of them come at the end of the season.
Yeah, Timberwolves have even passed the Lakers now. But what's interesting to me watching this game was a lot of people are blaming their younger players. A lot of people are blaming Kuzma.
Which they haven't performed.
Kuzma struggled. He had a great start to the year, but he has struggled since the All-Star break. Ingram's been playing phenomenal. He did not play last night. No, he did not play last night. He's out.
Ingram and Kuzma and Ball were all out last night.
And a lot of people have turned to those guys and put the blame there. But what really stands out to me, I'm not even going to talk about LeBron right now, but the veteran guys I think have really disappointed. And obviously I think a big sign I was watching Rondo last night sit with the fans away from the players because he didn't want to be with his team. But I think those guys have failed. Lance Stevenson was brought to this team to provide a chip, to provide a spark. Whenever this team needs energy, they're going to go to him. He's failed at that. Rajon Rondo is supposed to be a high IQ guy that gets everyone involved and be a leader. He's failed at that. And, of course, I think LeBron has failed as a leader as well. So I think a lot of blame has to go to those guys. A lot of people are going to point to the younger guys, which, of course, everyone's at fault here in Luke Walton. But they brought these veteran players to add toughness and provide energy and an IQ to the game, and I think those guys have failed.
I think you're right. I remember going back before the season started, we were seeing what this Lakers team was building, the roster they had built, and I don't know about you, but I really liked the veteran players they brought in. I thought it was perfect.
I liked it. I did like it.
I thought it was a perfect amount of experience and toughness that they could form with their young players, and Rondo, JaVale, and Lance all bring a chip and a defensive mentality with them all, but they, like you said, they really haven't shown that and performed the way they should have this season. And also, the young players, I still don't believe they've been able to grow and perform as well as they should have. We've seen D'Angelo Russell go to Brooklyn and become an all-star. We're seeing Julius Randle over in New Orleans now, and he's having a heck of a season. So we see these players leave LA and grow and become much more loose and be able to play the game that we all thought they could. And right now in LA, they're not being able to do that.
And they're just not playing with fun. These guys, you look at other teams that, I mean, obviously fun's going to come from winning. Teams that win look like they're going to be having more fun. But you look at, like I know Colin Cowherd mentioned the Portland Trailblazers play. You look at the Utah Jazz play, the Indiana Pacers, these teams that don't have a lot of talent, but they have fun when they play. And there's none of that in LA right now. But going to the bright side, it probably could have come at a better time. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But LeBron James passes Michael Jordan to move into 4th for all time in NBA scoring. Just trails Kobe Bryant, Karl Malone, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, obviously it's a historical moment. We all know he was going to get there one day. He finally passes the player he looked up to and wears the number from. So it was great to see him do that. I know, obviously, he wants to be winning and the team around him be performing a little bit better than they are. But this will obviously be the highest point of his season, obviously. So
point of the season.
it's good for him. I know he enjoys it, and he really enjoyed it all last night. He just embraced it all, and it's the only thing he could look forward to other than ending the season now.
Yeah, congrats to LeBron. Obviously, it's big time passing the legend, Michael Jordan, and his idol. So I do want to say, as much as I don't like it, congrats to LeBron. I will say this, though, and this isn't just because I don't like LeBron. I said the same thing when Kobe passed MJ. I believe that was his second to final season when he passed
Okay,
MJ. But I said the same thing. I think I don't look too much into, like, stats because, first of all, stats are empty if you're not winning. I'll always say that. That's my key phrase. Stats don't mean anything if you don't win. But I'll never look too much into stats, especially points, because you would compare points in these different eras. It's a completely different game. You could look at three-pointers. Obviously, people are going to score more nowadays because the three-pointers are way more relevant.
They scored a lot back in the day. Will Chamberlain dropped 100.
Right, but I'm talking just specifically about threes. A lot of people bring up the argument he's hit way more threes than Jordan. If Jordan played today, he'd hit more threes. Jordan would hit as many threes as Kobe probably did.
I think LeBron's style fits older days too.
I'm not saying he wouldn't. I think but I never want to compare.
You're right.
Points directly because there's so many factors, different amount of years. Some guys have played a different amount of seasons. Injuries,
I look at field goal
games.
attempts too.
Field goal attempts, I think, is a good
which
indicator.
LeBron has a lot less than Michael Jordan.
It did take him 110 more games.
But a lot less field goal attempts.
Less shot.
That's what I really
But also more
at.
free throws. Way more free throws and way more threes.
And
those add extra points. But anyway, that's all specific details. I don't want to touch on them. I don't want to affect
this is
them
a
all
good,
because it's
good
a
point
good
right
moment.
here.
It's a good. I'll let him enjoy this because I'm going to be enjoying April when he's not playing. So I'll let him enjoy this one. But hats off to LeBron James on passing Michael Jordan.
Do you think there's any chance he gets the number one?
Coming into the year, I would say yes. But I think I've seen signs of him slowing down this year.
And missing half the year?
Yeah, we don't see him sit down with injuries very often. We saw that this year.
So you don't think it's the last?
I think he's going to battle injuries towards the end of his career. I do think we're starting to see. I mean, that's always been a huge thing with LeBron. Is this dude never stops? He's always healthy. He's always playing. This year, I thought we saw a different LeBron. I think it's going to start to affect him. I don't think basketball is his main priority anymore. I think it's a big reason he moved to LA, and so I don't think he'll get there. He'll pass Kobe. And he could get to Karl.
I think he will.
But I don't think he's going to get to Kareem. Kareem's at 38,000 something. Karl's at 36,000. Kobe's at 33, I think. Mm-hmm. And LeBron just got to 32 something.
He's going to pass Kobe next year around the All-Star break if he's averaging about 27 like he is right now. Mm-hmm. He'll be able to do that, and I do believe in a couple years he'll get to Karl. But obviously getting to Kareem I think is a tough task, especially from seeing what he did this year, missing some games. Not being 100% this whole season, and I don't know if he's going to average 27 the next couple of years. I think it'll be more like 25, 24. So I don't know if he'll be able to get number one. That would have to take like 5 more years, and I don't know if he has 5 more years in him. So I do believe he will finish number 2.
Yeah, that's right. I see him 2 or 3. 36,000. I mean, that's 4 more thousand points. That's even quite a feat. But you never know. He could keep going. But the Lakers lose again. They're 6.5 out, looking like their season's over. The Celtics, who we talked about on Tuesday, were struggling. Since then, they've won 2, destroyed Golden State in Golden State on Wednesday night, and on Tuesday night, and then last night took down the Kings by 2. Gordon Hayward in both games showed out 30 points against the Warriors and the game-winning shot against the Kings. Big signs here from the Celtics. Are they back?
Let's see on Saturday when they play LA.
That's got to be a win. You can't lose to LA right now. They
exactly.
seem to be going in the right direction. And
they can play very well against good teams, but sometimes they don't perform well against bad teams. Yeah. They need to show out Saturday night and put an end to the Lakers season.
And it's interesting. There's an argument that's been brought up that's been shown. Kyrie did not play against the Kings. He did play against the Warriors, and he played well. Did not play against the Kings last night. They are now 7-0 without Kyrie in their last 7 games and averaging 11 more points per game without Kyrie Irving. Of course, we know they're 1 game away from the NBA Finals without Kyrie Irving. What is your take on this? Is this a big deal?
What I take from this is that he might not be the priority for this team. I think the special thing in this team might be Gordon Hayward. We haven't seen it yet. but he's played very well, like you said, the past couple games. Beat Golden State. They beat a very tough Sacramento team without Kyrie. So Gordon Hayward might be the key to their success. They do need Kyrie, though, to be in that lineup if they want to make it all the way. But they need to find a way to play how they are without him when he's on the court.
Yeah, what it shows to me is I don't think it's Kyrie's fault, but I think it's just a system like Brad Stevens is built around a team without a huge star. I don't think they need a huge star. And Boston's got the perfect pieces without Kyrie Irving to do that. They move the ball so much that whoever's getting going that night, when Kyrie's not playing, whether it's Terry Rozier in the playoffs, if Jason Tatum's on, if Gordon Hayward, like we saw against Golden State, Marcus Morris hit down shots, they'll find him, and they have guys like that will go off and they'll basically take turns. But when you look at these other teams, they built around one star that has to score 30 points every night. I don't think Brad Stevens' teams are built like that. They're not built for one guy to go out and score 30 points a night. And, of course, that's the guy Kyrie Irving is. He's a scorer. And so I think this system's a lot better without Kyrie. I think it's close. I would probably say it's about 75% chance for me right now that Kyrie Irving leaves in the offseason.
That's pretty high. I say for me it's still about 50-50. I can see him staying, but I could also see some places like New York and him leading his own team.
Another interesting thing, and we talked to Celtics how they beat Golden State by 30. Interesting I saw from this game, though, that I'm surprised not a lot of people are talking about, especially because it involves Kevin Durant. But in the post-game interview after the game, Steve Kerr was asked what went wrong against Boston tonight, and he said you have to play basketball with anger and intensity, and we didn't have any of that tonight. A couple months, I think it was about a month ago, it was during the All-Star break, so it was during the All-Star break, there was a big piece done on Steve Kerr and how he builds his culture around joy and having fun and playing basketball like it's fun. And then in this post-game interview says they didn't have any anger. They have to play with anger and intensity. Kevin Durant was asked about it, and Kevin Durant pretty much called out Steve Kerr. So I thought this was built around joy. I disagree with everything he just said.
Really?
I think it's interesting, and I'm really surprised no one's talking about it because of the fact that Kevin Durant can leave. And I think the Warriors are starting to get a little dysfunction. I think it's just because it's the end of the regular season. They just need to get to the playoffs. I think everything's going to be fine. I'm still picking them to win the NBA championship. But I think it's interesting hearing Kevin Durant react like that to Steve Kerr.
There definitely could be a shift between Steve and Kevin Durant. I believe that. We kind of saw it last year. That we don't know exactly all the facts from last season, but we know deep down in that locker room there's a lot of shifts and stuff that was not going on right. So I think there definitely could be tension between them. I know Kevin Durant, to me, sometimes it doesn't look like he's out there playing with the right purpose. Sometimes always see Steph Curry playing like that with joy, like Steve Kerr wants. Sometimes Kevin Durant doesn't look like he is playing the same way. So there definitely could be something there with Steve Kerr maybe calling him out specifically without saying his name.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that, and I think it's why I'm starting to buy into the fact that I think Durant's going to leave too, because I think he's going to start to get frustrated. He knows this is Curry's team. I think Curry and Kerr get along really well.
Right.
Kind of hard to say, Curry and Kerr, but they get along really well. I think they have the same principles. And Kevin Durant's fit well. He's got his championships and he's fit well. I'm not saying he doesn't like Steve Kerr or he doesn't get along with Curry. They fit well, but I think Durant's getting to the point where he wants his team again. And I think he's going to be out, and I think this is a warning sign that I think he's going to be gone.
Yeah, and what we've seen recently is all about mobility. Players are moving, starting new teams, and I think Kevin Durant is looking about what players have been able to do that, move to new places and take their game to the next level. I think he could go somewhere else and even improve on what he's been able to do and show that he's one of the best players ever.
Game is going to see 2 games on tonight on TNT. Pacers are playing, I believe, the Bucks. They go to Milwaukee in the first game on TNT. They will play the Bucks. Pacers continue to play well despite losing Victor Oladipo. But the big one, the night game, the Thunder go to Portland to play the Blazers. They are both tied for third with the Houston Rockets. 3-way tie there. Wow. Predictions for tonight and predictions for who gets this spot.
These are 2 great games. I think Milwaukee will take down Indiana. That'll be a tough game, though. Great defensive game, great effort game. And Portland and OKC is going to be fantastic to watch. Super exciting. I'm going to have to say OKC will get the win. I
think they win tonight.
I think both teams have been playing well, but Paul George is going to have a big night tonight.
I like Portland to win that one. I do like Milwaukee, but I like Portland winning. Portland's tough to play at home. They struggle on the road, but that's a tough place to play down there in the Moda Center. But it's a big game, going to be a fun night. So that's what to watch for. We got more NBA coming up for you, though. You're listening to Blue Collar Sports. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great rest of the show.